Okay, today we're going to check on our worms in our flow-through bin. As a reminder, our mini little flow-through bin here. This is just a normal Costco tote, and we feed over here, and we let this side dry out, which is why it's not covered, so we can more easily harvest over here. Today we're gonna go through, aerate, and when we're done, we're gonna give them a feeding. And we also can sort of check and see how well they've broken down the scraps we gave them 2 weeks ago. So couple of things we're going to check here as we're going in, we're going to check the moisture level, we're going to check the smell to make sure we don't have any anaerobic bacteria, and also sort of check the progress of our finish. And once we have too much of that, we're going to pull it out and add it to our garden. It's been spring planting here, so I've already added a good amount to my garden, so there shouldn't be that much to harvest this week. So as I'm going through this part, you see there's actually not a lot of worms in here, which is part of the point, which is why it's not covered up. I allow it to get dried out. Ooh, look. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right there on my thumb, that's a little worm cocoon. So I'm gonna make sure that goes back in. But I'm gonna pull a little bit out. Just have this old box here. I can just slowly drop it in, make sure I'm not getting any big worms as I do that. If I do get a few worms out, it's not that big of a deal, but I'd rather have them in my worm bin. Plus my wife loves to have fresh worm castings for her flowers, and mostly for her blueberries. She babies those blueberries. Alright, that's good for today. Then I can go through and check near the bottom. If I see any worms in this section, I sort of just throw them over to the right. I guess my left. Alright, that looks good. Now we'll go through, this is the stuff that's nearly finished. Don't really have much to do or check here. I'm just gonna reach down and fluff it, make sure that has plenty of oxygen to break down. As I'm going through here, I know this is supposed to dry out a little bit to discourage the worms from going there, but it's even here feels a little bit too dry. Okay, here we go. Now that I'm back over here where the worms are, I'm seeing a lot more worms. Got a couple of military air bases near here, so sometimes we get planes flying low over. A couple other civilian airfields too. Right. I'm not seeing all that many. Take that banana sticker out. Seeing a good amount of worms. Not that much food left over, except for here's this little mango pit that. Oh look, they got inside of it. Oh no, they're not actually inside of it. But the mango pit that's been here for a while now. Wonder how many years it'll take for that to break down. Okay, here's some of the food I fed them last time. You can see some of the eggshell we added in as well. This over here is feeling a bit more moist, so that's about the right level of moisture, which is good. Okay, let's check the spot where we fed them last time. So here is where we're most likely to get most of the worms. It's also, yeah, we still have a good amount of banana peel left. But the worms are going to town on it. And it's, as I reach in here, I feel like I can feel the warmth of the stuff breaking down. I love seeing all the baby worms. When I first started them and I bought, you know, a big bag of mature worms, it actually took me a little while to get the conditions in the bin right so that the worms were actually reproducing. But now I got a good amount of them. Not quite enough to break down what I fed them 2 weeks ago, though. But they're working on it. All right, let me get down under here on the other side. Oh, look at that. Oh, those are good looking worms. Whew. I mean, there's some of the banana peel. Maybe they just couldn't get to that. There's not a ton of food. And the moisture level's good. Did definitely need to be turned. It is a tiny bit stinky, but it's not that bad. Alright, so when I go to feed it, I leave sort of a layer of, you know, my existing bin. So I've got a good substrate of, I think that was carrot. Good bacteria and worms. And then I'm going to add some bedding on top of that. I just use shredded cardboard. There we go. Added a good amount this time because it was feeling a little dry and I wasn't seeing that much cardboard in. So it's a pretty thick layer. And then to the cardboard, I always add in my coffee. There we go. And then I just crumble that in just because when it stays as the espresso puck, the worms just have a much harder time getting at it. But this gives them a good base level of stuff to eat so that my bin always grows even if I don't have that many clippings throughout the week. And then I'm going to add in some ground eggshells. These cost a lot more than they used to. And then I'm going to add my clippings on top of that. I made some spicy carrots this week, so these aren't the spicy carrots, but these are just, I peeled the carrots. And then I'm going to break, oh wow, look at that. That was like fermenting that apple. Break that up, just make it a little bit easier for the orange, or the worms to get to. And spread everything else around. Same thing with the cucumber, because if you don't break it up, it'll take them a couple extra weeks for them to actually get into it and break it down. And actually, I'm going to take some of this and pick it up. And then add some more of the normal stuff. And then lay it back down. Just so that there's a little bit more surface area for the worms to be able to get to it. And it won't stick together and rot. And they'll actually get to all the different pieces. Let's get my old banana in there. And then take the stuff that I pulled off the bottom and mount it all up. Get the worms back where they're supposed to be. And then when they're all mounded up, tuck them back in under the blanket. That helps conserve the moisture here and keeps them nice and warm. That's it.